Welcome to Buckwheat Farms Magic Emporium and Ballroom. I know it's been a while since you've heard from me. It's been kind of a rough summer. The heat, had an injury. We've had some issues with, as you know, with the pigs and having to move them and trying to get relocated. But we've also had another little thing come up. If you'll just bear with me and look at the GoFundMe video we have, it'll explain everything. For those of you who don't follow us on YouTube or haven't seen our story on Vocal, this is kind of a catch up to let you know a little bit about us. Charlene, and my wife, and I moved in here with my dad about 9.5 years ago. It was after the death of my mom, and he didn't really need caretaking at the time. It was more mom had done everything like his meals and things like that for him, and just to make sure he didn't grieve himself here to death by himself here. And things worked out pretty well there for a while. My wife and I were running our own business where we did field inspections for mortgage and insurance companies. We also did some merchandising work. We were independent contractors working for ourselves and had a rather large territory. Well, about 3 years ago, Dad suffered a major setback. It's self-induced, of course, because he was eating whatever the hell he wanted and not taking good care of himself. Charlene and I were on the road all the time, hardly ever here, and so it just got away from us. And he was in the hospital, and for several days, came home, and there was a period where they did the rehabilitative care. They had folks come in and help with with therapists come in with physical therapy, his mental state and everything. And that was probably the biggest hit that was taken, was his mind. His mind started slipping. Dementia started creeping in more and more. Well, fast forward to now. Well, let me go back a little bit, because those of you who follow our channel know that during that time I was also trying to set up a working farm here on it's a little over a half acre of land here, and I was converting some of the grass areas. Again, you can check out our videos. You'll see what we're doing, and but it became increasingly obvious to me that this was much smaller than my vision. As my work, we had to decrease my work after Dad's setback. We had to cut my territory and everything. I began to spend more time on the farm and realized this was my passion. Farming and helping people be healed are my two passions beyond my wife and grandkids. So here it is. We're in a situation where we're losing more and more of my business and more of our income, and as it's becoming increasingly necessary for us to have hands-on care with that. Now, I'd made a promise when we moved in here that as long as he could take care of himself, as long as he could toilet himself and bathe himself, then we were golden. We could stay here with him. But here in recent months, it's obvious that he is ready for long-term care. He's 81 years old, so he's lived a long and wonderful life, and we've kept our end of the bargain. But what's happened here is, in the meantime, we have located or actually partnered with another farm, Galloway Place Farms, and we have an opportunity to possibly go over and become like live-on caretakers, helpers at the farm. Kind of like, if you've ever seen Green Acres, I'd be like the Ebb around there, which is pretty cool with me. It would make me happy. It would be absolutely fantastic. Well, we've been moving and transitioning our farm from here to there. Now, therein lies the rub. We've got fencing. We've got I've got a bunch of solar panels. I've got an entire greenhouse I'm going to be dismantling, and it would be no problem if my truck was still running, but that's the issue. 2 months ago, just as we were beginning to move the old farm over to the new place and make all the transition, my pickup, the transmission went out in it, and it really put us in a little bit of a bind. But I was still using the van. I was able to use the inside of the van to carry some fencing over and things like that.
But I was having to make multiple trips, and it was hard to get some of the stuff in. It would be especially hard to get what I need, which are hog panels, because I'd have to strap them over the top of the van. But then the van went down, and so now we are stuck with only Charlene's vehicle, and it's just not suitable for hauling anything, and plus it's actually costing us more money because we're having to make more and more trips over. I'm having to go over and back, and I can't stay over and work on the new farm like I wanted to. And so that is the reason for the GoFundMe, to raise $3,500 to replace the transmission in my truck.
Because of the increasing situation with my dad, I was even forced to go back to waiting tables. I'm working in a restaurant nearby, Texas Border Grill. If you're ever in Macon on Houston Road, it's a great place to eat, great people to work for. But it's actually within walking distance, if I had to, of the house. I knew it was close by, and I could be close by to look after Dad. And of course, I'm not making as much money as I used to. So the $3,500 is a stretch for us now. It's a reach for us. And your gift would help us, of whatever amount, however close we get, that's less we have to reach to get that. And what that would do, that'll free us up to get our old farm, everything except for this office facility, which you see now, which is going to be another expense coming up to move this over. But everything else I can move over in my truck. But it will also free us up to go back to collecting, because of the 2 months the truck's been down. I haven't been able to pick up coffee grounds at Z Beans, which again, those are part of our permaculture plans to reuse those coffee, not coffee beans, but coffee grounds, to reuse those grounds into in our farm. It's also limited my ability to pick up, and again, sustainable living type thing, to pick up the out-of-date vegetables and fruits from some of the local grocers that I was able to do. I just can't haul it around in Charlene's car. So I'm asking for your help. I'm asking for your energy. I'm asking for you to give. Thank you for watching, and thank you for sharing with us, whatever and however you're able to share with us. We do appreciate it. So what are the plans as far as the video content going forward? Well, I've looked at a couple of things and over the past few months, and trying to decide where I wanted to go, where I wanted to focus. And it appears that most of the focus of my videos has been on the magic side of it. It's probably because of the name, of course, and all the algorithms and everything. So Buckwheat Farms Magic Emporium and Ballroom will be concentrating solely on the magic aspect of it. I will be sharing some rituals. I'll be sharing some thoughts on magic and continuing to do that. May revive a little bit of a morning love type thing again. Who knows where that's going to go? But that will be the Buckwheat Farms Magic Emporium and Ballroom. I'll be operating another channel that will be starting up that will deal with the permaculture, that will kind of document or tell our story of how of everything we're doing at Galloway Place Farms. And it will be probably under Galloway Place Farms. It'll show how we're transitioning into the CSA, a lot more educational or that type video, how-tos, things like that, more so than the philosophical side of things that I've been want to get into here. Of course, you know, they'll always be there because I'm me. But and then I'm going to open a third channel. And again, here's a guy. This is the way I operate, right? Going from 0 videos in the last couple of months to committing to 3 videos a week, because that's what I'll do. I'll do a weekly segment on each one of these. But I found that one, the name being a little bit misleading or misdirecting as far as the algorithms are concerned. But I think we'll be able to get the content out in a better way. And I'll probably link some of the content to the new site that deals with with sustainable permaculture. But the third site will be I'm reviving the salt and light healing arts. Been having an increasing call to start my practice, and that's really what I've been struggling with here. Is all these reasons not to start practicing what I know is good for other people, and that's the quantum healing. And we're going to go into helping and trying to help people find their path. I want to help you find your individual path to your healing. And so Salt and Light Healing Arts, that will be the focus of that channel, and I'll use that in my local healing arts business. Maybe even do some long range healing type things as well. We'll see how that develops, but that's the plan going forward. So I've missed doing this because this is cathartic for me. It does get the energy of my dreams out in the air, but I needed that time to focus and clarify and really need that time to decide to get rid of a lot of junk that's taking up a lot of energy in my life, and hence that's part of the whole thing with the estate sale and getting rid of a lot of stuff, a lot of energies that I've been carrying. And going through that process, though, I've learned, and it will help me with helping others. As they say, wounded people wound people, but also healed people heal people. And through this process, I've experienced a great bit of healing and health. So anyway, I'm glad you checked in with us today. But our universe and our reach is expanding. So I hope you'll enjoy the content that you see, and let us know. Love you. Namaste.